guys, welcome to week 4. I hope your last week went well. We talked about cheat days and cheat meals. I had a equation sheet put up on the resource page for you to go over your own numbers and how to make sure you're accounting for your cheat meals and cheat days to make sure it's not affecting your progress. So if you still have questions on that, feel free to reach out to me and we can go over it again in more detail. This week we're going to talk about prioritizing your meals before your cheat meal. I found that this was a popular and well-liked topic. So I'm going to further explain how you can prepare for these cheat meals, because we live in a society where we like to go out to eat for socializing. When we're invited to someone's house, we are usually eating there. So something that you have to make work, right? You have to make social eating work. It sucks sometimes to have to think so hard about calories, and sometimes you refuse going out with friends or family because you don't want to waste your calories on such a meal. And I understand it could be hard. I'm Arab, and when you go to somebody's house, you're invited somewhere, and if you don't eat the food that they make you, you're like the devil. They will not forgive you. Why aren't you eating my food? Do you not like it? Do you feel that you're better than me? Did I upset you? You're not eating my food? And I'm just like, I'm just trying, to cut back on my food because I'm trying to lose weight. You think you're fat? And then the whole conversation just goes downhill from there. So when I know I'm going to someone's house like that, I really plan ahead. And I kind of have to plan ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to offend that person. They're going to hate me forever. Usually these are older people with a different mentality, and they just don't understand why you are doing that or doing that at their house. So I learned, when I know I'm going to somebody's house like that, I will just plan ahead. The way I do that is by cutting my calories before getting there. I will eat a very small breakfast and a very small lunch and save all my calories for dinner. I do that by having high protein, low carbs, almost no fat. And I say that because I find protein to satisfy me longer than carbs and fat do. And like I said, this is my personal method. If you feel that these foods don't work for you, they don't keep you as full for as long as they do for me, you can change it up. Just try to stick with the same numbers. So I'll wake up and I'll wake up if I know I'm going somewhere that evening, and I'll have 55 calories worth of egg whites, which is usually 3 egg whites, half 100-calorie Slim bread, and 1 cucumber. That puts me at around 100 calories for breakfast. I will try my very best not to snack, but if it happens to where I'm really hungry and I need a snack, I'll have either a cup of carrots or a cup of berries. And I say berries because they're low calorie and high fiber. They tend to keep me full longer. At lunchtime, I'll do a can of tuna, and I'll mix that with mustard, and I'll eat it in a lettuce wrap. So I don't have carbs at lunch because, like I said, I'm trying to save as many calories as I can. And I'll do the tuna and lettuce wraps for lunch. And usually by the time I get to that dinner, I've still have 1,100 calories to spare, and I won't be embarrassing or insulting the person that I'm going to visit. And I get to enjoy the food that they've made. I don't have to think very hard about calories. I'm not saying that you can go out of control, but you have a lot more leeway when you have 1,100 calories to spend. And then another thing that happens is dessert. I love dessert, and I would rather spend my calories on dessert than food. Like I said, this is my opinion. This is not what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling you to spend your calories on dessert, but I know that dessert is my favorite. So what I'll do is I'll split that whatever calories I have left. So if I have 1,100, I'll split it 550 for dinner and 550 for dessert, and I'll get to enjoy both. Let's say, same scenario, that you're going out to somebody's house or going out with your friends, but this time you didn't know until right before. Someone calls you, hey, you want to go out? You want to meet me for lunch? The first thing that pops in your head probably is, not really, because I don't feel like wasting my calories on you. But you go anyways, and you have no calories left that day. How do you plan from there, right? This is now more of not so much planning, it's more fixing. So you get to the restaurant, let's just say it's an Italian restaurant, they only have pasta dishes or like calzones, pizza, breadsticks, oily joy, and just butter. I love Italian food. What do? Do you order what you want, or do you get a side salad? Do you not eat? Do you just drink water? What do you do? And I'm also not a fan of people who I go out to eat with and they just are drinking water, because then I just feel like a fat cow and I feel like I'm the only one eating. So don't do that. Go ahead and eat. Eat what you would want to eat at that restaurant. So if you're a person that would want lasagna, get the lasagna. But instead of eating the whole thing, have a very small piece and take the rest home. And if you do not have self-control and something's in front of you, you can ask the waitress or waiter for a to-go box. And you can put that food in the box, close it up, put it in a bag next to you, and forget about it. So you can have a small piece, control yourself, have a small piece of whatever you want, and take the rest home. You can freeze it when you get home, you can eat it the next day, you can give it to somebody, but do not have the whole portion. Because fixing 500 calories is a lot easier than fixing 2,000 calories. So if the same scenario, you're going out with your friends to a burger joint, you have a little bit more flexibility there because you can do things to lower your calories. You can refuse the fries, you can not get a Coke, and you can remove the bun from the burger. You can do the meat and lettuce and save yourself close to 300 calories by removing the bun. You can remove the cheese, that saves you about 370 calories. No fries, that saves you about 500 calories. Where something that could be 1,000 calories can now just be 300 with the meat and the lettuce. Is it as enjoyable as a regular burger? No, but are you kind of helping yourself out so that you don't have to make up as many calories? Yeah, you're helping yourself out. If you are someone who hates bunless burgers, order the burger, just like the pasta scenario, eat a little piece of it and take the rest home. So that's my advice to you guys on preparing for a cheat meal or not being able to prepare for a cheat meal. I'm also going to throw another topic in that's not directly connected to cheat meals or cheat days, but will affect your calorie count, is weighing out your protein and which nutrition label are you supposed to be using. And what I mean by that is, let's say you are weighing out your chicken and your Tyson chicken label says for every 4 ounces it's 110 calories. The 110 calories that the label is telling you for 4 ounces is raw. It's 4 ounces of chicken raw. Now most of us weigh our meats cooked because it's kind of disgusting when you put your raw meat on the scale. You got to wipe it up real well, and if you want to add a different type of protein onto the scale, you got to make sure that you're not mixing the meats and you're sanitary and all that good stuff. So a lot of times people are weighing their food cooked but using the nutrition facts for raw meat. The problem with that over time is your calories are not in balance. How important is this? I'm not saying that it's going to be the reason why you're not losing weight, but it's something to pay attention to if you are not doing that already. So I personally like to stick with one way. If you're going to weigh raw, just keep weighing your food raw. Don't do raw sometimes, cooked sometimes. Pick a method that you prefer and stick with it. I weigh my food cooked. So when I'm weighing my 6 ounces of chicken cooked, is that the same as 6 ounces of chicken raw? It's not. So even though it's 6 ounces, you want to count it as 8 ounces of raw chicken because it loses about 2 ounces when it's being cooked. I know that sounds really confusing, so take a look at the resource page when we're done, and I do have a sheet for you there that it gives you a visual breakdown. Sometimes it's a lot easier for us to understand things visually, but the whole point, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I do want you guys to pay attention to that. A lot of you guys have already asked me that question of do you weigh raw or do you weigh cooked, and I'll usually tell you whatever way you do weigh, make sure you're consistent. So if you're weighing your food cooked, you got to follow the label for cooked meat. And if, like I said, packaging is for raw meat. Those numbers are for raw meat. You can go online and find just a general Google search, 3 ounces of chicken cooked, and it'll give you a number. If you do 3 ounces of chicken raw, it's going to give you a different number. That makes sense? And then if all else guys need help or want more detail on that, please message me. This week we are going to focus on what we've learned over the past 3 weeks. So we're going to calorie count, we are going to pay attention to our macros, we are going to exercise, and we are going to make sure we've got this whole cheat meal thing down. And along with what we've learned this week, which is preparing for those cheat meals, I want you guys to pay attention to how are you preparing for your cheat meals? Is that by adding in the exercise, by cutting your calories? What are you doing to prepare for these cheat meals? Because like I said, it's a pretty popular topic. We all struggle with it because social eating is everywhere, and a lot of times it throws off our calorie count, our plans, it kind of messes us up a little bit. So getting more comfortable with it is probably the best way to handle the situation. Next week I will throw in a little bit more of a challenging lesson. So take advantage of this week and make sure you've got everything down as far as calories, macros, cheat days, being on top of your caloric deficit and making sure you're losing the weight that you want. If you do have questions about that and you're so confused of how all these numbers work together, please message me and we will talk about this in your own situation in more detail. Thank you for watching another video, and I hope you have a great week.